Alright, we're doing 9H, which is Hamiltonian paths and cycles. Before I start talking about these ones, I want to think back to what we did the other day in 9G, which was Eulerian or Euler trials and circuits. Now, with those ones, we needed to go around our little networks and touch all the edges. But this time with the Hamilton ones, or Hamiltonian ones, we just want to pass through and touch every vertex. Okay, so Euler means touching every edge. Hamilton means touching every vertex. So we're looking at, and as it said up here, paths and cycles. So let's just quickly look at what a path is. So a Hamilton path. It's a path passing through every vertex in a network. It doesn't have to use all of the edges. Okay, so we've got an example here, and it says, list a Hamiltonian path that starts at A and ends at B. Okay, so that means we're going to be starting here and finishing here, but what we need to do is make sure we're touching each of the vertices. So if we start here, all good. We can go over here and make sure we touch F, and go down here, make sure we touch E, and make sure we touch D, make sure we touch C, and then to H, and then to G, and then back up to B. So can you see that we've gone through, we've started at A and ended at B, and we've touched every single one of those vertices. We didn't have to touch the edges. So there's a few that we haven't touched, which is totally fine. Okay, now it asks for us to list that path. So I'm going to list the letters that I went between. So I started at A, then went to F, then E, then D, then C, then H, then G, and then B. So there we go. That's the list showing the path that I took to make that Hamiltonian path. So let's move down to the next one. So we're doing paths and cycles. So a Hamiltonian cycle is a Hamiltonian path that starts and finishes at the same vertex. Okay, so in this example here, it asks for us to start at A, and if it's a cycle, it has to finish at A as well. So all I'm going to do here is go around and make sure that I've touched all the vertices. I don't have to touch all the edges. Now, there's a whole heap of different ways you can do this. It doesn't have to be like exactly the same every time. There's a few different answers. So I could pretty much do what I did earlier, like that same kind of path up here, but I might just go a different way to show that it can be done in different ways. So I might go from A to B, then I might go from B to C. Remember, I have to touch every vertex. Then I'll go from C to D. I don't want to go back up to A yet because I haven't touched all the vertices. So I'll go to E, then H, then G, then F, and then back up to A. Now it's a cycle because I started at A and I finished in that exact same place. And again, it asks for the list. So I'm going to give all the letters that I went to. So I started at A, then B, then C, then D, then E, then H, then G, then F, and then I got back to A. And we're done. So that's what you're going to be asked to do. You might be given a network such as this. I think the first couple of questions actually do look similar to this. Then you need to find those Hamiltonian paths where they touch every vertex, and they might tell you a different starting and finishing point, or a Hamiltonian cycle where they touch every vertex, but they must start and finish at the same point.